Welcome to Do Go On, the show where we talk about something interesting, and I am going to attempt to do that. My name is Dave Warnicky, and I'm here with Matt Stewart. Hello, Matt.
Hey, Dave. Yeah, the interesting thing, I guess that's a subjective term.
Now, it's
Interesting
in my term,
thing.
I think it's objective because I always find it interesting.
Ah, all right. I'll take it all back.
Let's
Let's
take it all
start
back?
again from the top.
From the top. Well, let's welcome Jess Perkins into the show. Hello, Jess.
Hello, boys.
Well, that's not from the top. That's kind of from just below the top, but that's okay. Hey, Jess.
Hi, mates. How are we?
Well, I can't speak for Matt. Obviously, I've already tried to speak for everyone and tell them that this show's interesting.
And he's already told you off for that, so don't speak for him now.
But I am bloody good. Matt, yourself.
No, I'm bloody good too. You could have spoken for us all then.
Yeah, I'm pretty bloody good as well.
Ah,
All right, go team.
Okay.
It's one thing we've got in common.
Alrighty. Are we going to jump straight
Let's
in?
just jump straight into
Should
it
we
this
get
time. Let's
straight
just
into
do
it
it.
this time? No bloody chit-chat. No
Yeah.
time for that.
Hey, how have you been, Jess?
Really well.
No chit-chat. Here's a chit-chat question.
Just before you get into that,
Yes.
about talking about no chit chat, what have you been up to lately? How's the family?
The family are all very well. Anne and John Perkins are doing well.
Anyway, so
no chit chat this week.
no
No
chit-chat.
chit-chat.
Straight into the show. What happens is we each take it in turns to research a topic and then report back to the other guys about said topic. This week it is Jess, your turn to regale us with a tale.
Oh, I didn't know you were going to regale us. That's cool.
I'm a little bit...
Matt, you had red cordial or something this morning. You're really hyperactive.
I had a flat white. My
you've-
sixth flat white.
You're really... Not
Ever?
today,
No,
ever.
not today, ever. Yeah.
Do you remember a few weeks ago we went out for lunch after...
Was that your first ever
That was
flat
his
white?
Yeah.
first one a few weeks ago.
So
we
That
went
was
out.
like 2 weeks ago, and
I
you've had
know.
6 flat whites.
Yeah.
You've
I'm
gone
on board.
from 1 to 6.
Yeah.
I'm really happy for you.
Yeah, thank
I've
you.
still never had a flat white. Anyway, no chit chat this
Let's
week.
do it,
No
let's
chit
do it.
chat. Straight into it.
I was going to say I'm a little bit nervous about this one because you'll either get on board or it's going to be a long podcast.
So this one is
I think
genuinely
that's kind
subject.
of the rule
No,
of
it's-
podcasts.
I think it's still interesting, but it might be like more interesting to me for nostalgia reasons, and you'll understand why. And also,
Ship to shore?
I've learnt my lesson from the Beatles episode where I went too broad, and now I've made it very specific. Like I've timed it to one single day, one
Okay.
single
the
evening.
I reckon
credits
I
to ship to
can-
shore.
I can guess this one because it's nostalgic and it's very personal to you and it's one day.
I wouldn't say
Was
personal
it
to
your
me.
13th birthday party?
Yes, it is. Yeah,
That we
we went to Smorgies. It was great. Point. No, we're not doing my 13th birthday. I will. We always start with a question.
okay. Ready to answer.
I've got 2 questions.
Unconventional, but we'll allow.
No. I'll go with the more obvious one, and then if we need to, I'll narrow it down. What do you think is the biggest sporting event in Australian history?
In history or like annually?
The 1991
I'd say-
AFL Grand Final where Angry Anderson played Bound for Glory in the back of the Batmobile.
That is exactly what I'm talking. No, that's not what I'm talking about.
But it's a nighttime. You said it was a nighttime
It's a
thing. as well.
nighttime thing?
Kathy Freeman running in the Sydney Olympics.
You're super close.
Just the Sydney Olympics?
Again,
but it's
very
just one
close.
night.
It's one night.
The opening ceremony.
The opening ceremony.
An unforgettable night in my chapter as well because I had gastro and I watched the whole event vomiting into a bucket
you
every
kidding me?
5 minutes.
Because I got chicken pox for the Olympics, and my dad took my brother up to Sydney to go to the Olympics, and Mum and I had to stay home because I had chicken pox. I missed the Olympics.
You were going to go to
We
the
were
games.
going to go. He took my brother and my brother's friend, and they were in the Brazilian cheer squad for some volleyball, and they were at all these events, and I missed it all. Isn't that brutal? It's just a moment of my
I
childhood.
think I was at a party that night or something. Teen backyard party.
So not a party for that event.
No,
just
I didn't see it, but I remember hearing about it, and
Have you seen any clips of it since?
yeah, I think I've seen Nikki Webster on a rope or something. Yep. And I like Nikki Webster. Had a hit song called "Strawberry Kisses."
She did.
which is also my name for my nipples.
Well, we've just found your coffee order. What are you talking? Is that a genuine? He's lifting up his shirt for those at home. He's showing us his nipples. Wow, I can confirm. Not 1, but 2 strawberry kisses.
I'm dying. Oh, just how seriously you said that. Strawberry, you're an idiot.
We will be tweeting a photo of these nipples after the show. Hopefully, Matt is on board for that.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
You can see the
No
strawberry
doubt.
kisses for yourself. Maybe we should tweet a picture of them to Nikki Webster. Check out these strawberry kisses.
She'd probably write back.
She probably would. She's quite sad.
She's not
Is
getting
she?
No, but
Didn't she? Is she on Dancing with the Stars or something at the moment? Or
No,
is that
she was.
Tessa Owen? Terry Owen.
Bindi.
Bindi Owen.
Owen is on Dancing
I get
with the
those
Stars
two
in America.
confused. Oh, really?
Mhm.
Wow.
And Nikki was years and years ago,
Right, okay.
like a long time ago.
I've merged them into one person.
Yeah, and look,
one
fair
super
enough.
being.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So we all remember then where we were
Where we were the
on
night.
the 15th of September 2000.
Is that the date?
Mhm,
Wow, the 15th. So
And Kathy Freeman, she... Oh, you're going to go into this, but
Mhm.
I think she had a role in lighting the flame or carrying the flame or something.
She did.
Because that's so funny. They're like, big secret. Oh, who's going to be the one who lights the big cauldron? Oh, who's it going to be?
It's
and people,
always-
like, actually, they talk about it like people care. I don't think anyone does. But the commentators will be, like, talking
is
up
it?
like...
It
Who
was
is
"This is
it was
real
a
mystery."
secret.
Oh, my God.
So yeah, it was a secret that like
Is it going to be Pat Rafter? Is it going to be Shane
Oh.
Crawford? It could be anyone. Is it going to be Yvonne Gouligong Crawley?
Cawley.
Crawley.
It could be Cawley, but it could be Dawn Fraser.
could be
Oh
anyone.
my god.
I know.
It could be Patrick McCubbin, risen from the dead, the Australian bush artist.
Surely it's not going to be Frederick McCubbin. Surely it's
Oh, yeah,
not going to
damn
be
it.
How do you?
famous triptych painter. Surely it's not going to be a current athlete like Kathy Freeman or Andrew Gaze.
No,
Was
but
Andrew Gaze a current athlete?
he was
Yeah,
at the time.
yeah.
Yeah, he carried the flag.
Well, there you go.
Big moment for 10-year-old me, who
You're a basketball player.
basketball player, big Andrew Gaze fan. So
Gazy.
He's a top guy.
great bloke,
He seems like a good dude.
top bloke.
Don't.
He used to do the footy tips on the Channel 10 News. Always very hilarious. He'd follow it up by throwing a basketball over his head or something. So good.
Very good.
Really?
Gotta be
like,
I know what I'm talking about. Then you just shot a hoop.
Yeah. I was watching clips from the Olympics as research, and I got like onto an Andrew Gaze one because I love Andrew Gaze, and they were interviewing him before they went into the stadium, and like they knew he was going to be carrying the flag, and they're like, "Oh, have you prepared?" He's like, "Mate, they haven't told me anything. They just gave me this lanyard, told me to put it around my Gregory Peck," and I was like, "Gregory Peck,
Agger's
neck.
rhyming slang.
So good."
I was talking about rhyming slang the other day. I was hanging out with my uncle, and he's a rhyming slang fiend.
Yeah.
But every now and then, after a few drinks, he'll forget how it works. Like the other day, he's like, he's had a bunch of. He wanted to ask me to pass him a bottle of water, and he wanted to say, "Pass me a Tucker's Daughter," which was an Ian Moss classic song. Good rhyming slang. He said, "Hey Matt, can you pass me a Tucker's water?"
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work. You've got to.
You've literally said the word,
Yeah.
the actual word you want to say.
Yeah, so that's
it's not
no
right.
good.
What a Tucker's daughter.
Yeah.
It sounds offensive.
It does.
Yeah, if you were not sure which
Your
bit
blood-
was the rhyming bit.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
bloody Tucker's daughter. You'd be like, whoa.
Oh boy.
Ooh. Other good ones he uses feel like having a Chris Mew, which is an
Spew?
obscure AFL player, I think.
Is that for spew?
For Spew,
Mhm.
yep. Then there's the classics. Everyone knows, like...
Hit the frog and
Hit the
toad.
frog and toad. He says hit the frog and road.
Oh.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
I was going to say,
My
that's...
dad says frog and toad.
Was there...
Get you on the old dog and phone.
Pardon? What does dog rhyme with?
Fog.
Oh, right, get you on the fog. Pardon me. Jeez, I feel like an idiot.
Oh boy.
The cheese and misses. No, cheese and kisses.
Is that Mrs.?
That's misses, yeah. Got to ask that, that's a bogan thing where they have to, there's this bogan thing, and I found it, like any guy who wants to delay making a decision about something, they'll say either, well, better pass it through the cheese and kisses, or the Minister for Finance.
Oh.
Every time I just want to tell them to fuck off.
Yeah.
It's like, don't blame them. And don't make them sound like
They're
you're
the
making them
bad
sound
guy?
like they're the bad guy. Yeah,
Totally.
just
Well, do you know,
take
that kind of reminds me, though, because when I was in like high school especially, if I didn't want to go to a party or didn't want to go out with certain people, my mum would be like, just say I told you you couldn't
yeah,
go.
good.
She would want
Yeah.
to take the blame.
Mum
Pass
would be
the
like, I'll
blame.
take the blame. Blame me. I'm the bad guy. What a legend.
They teach you that in some jobs as well. Like if it's just like just pass it on to someone else. If a customer's angry at you, you say, "Oh, look, I'd love to help you out, but the boss is just really strict on this."
Exactly.
Which is smart because it just means like, yeah, well, look, I'm not angry at you, but this
This
boss
boss
that I
of
don't
yours,
know.
yeah. What a jerk.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
Olympics.
The Sydney Olympics for the year
Opening
2000.
ceremony. Too
And
specific?
the winner is
Too specific?
no, it's great.
Because there's a lot in there, and
It's a big event.
and it kind of holds up. Like if you watch the clips now, you can it's all any of the Olympics opening ceremony.
I know they say this every year, but at the time they say that was the best one ever.
They still say it of Sydney. I was going to say they still say it's the best one.
Really, that's
Still.
interesting.
Internationally, or just because I
Yeah,
feel like
in
Australians
Australia.
are the
No,
thing
not
where
even
we
just an
want-
Australian thing. Like the head of the Olympics.
No, I was going to say Sepp Blatter, but he's the soccer
FIFA.
guy. Who's the?
I can't
What was
remember
his
his
name? But he said
should I
because
have it on here?
Atlanta was the Olympics before,
Yeah.
and I think traditionally at the end they would say this is the best Olympics ever, and at Atlanta he said this was a pretty good Olympics.
Ooh, brutal. But no, still to this day, it's still credited as being one of the best. And there's a few.
Sorry, Jess, you've just gone from
Yeah,
the best
yeah.
to one of the
Oh no, sorry, the best. Sorry, the best.
It's like a bit of a slip there, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
no, thank you. No, good
It
pickup.
was
It was
an
the
Olympics.
best.
Thank you for coming to an Olympic Games. Good
Yeah.
night.
But that's the thing. Like, it was a good Olympics, but the ceremony has still been said as one of the best. The best. Jesus, I think it's just a habit. It actually held a few records. Like it was
For being the best, which is
the
quantifiable.
best. The best.
No, what records?
So it was the first Olympic cauldron lit into water. That's very specific. No, there are better ones.
Has that happened since?
Yes.
What? We were the first country to light water on fire.
Yeah.
God, I love our style.
First
Was it our Olympics that there was a big weird pause though, that they had to
Yes.
wait 15 minutes or something?
4 minutes.
Well, it felt like a long time
I'm sure it did for Kathy Freeman standing there.
standing there.
What? You had to wait
It started
4
to
minutes?
rise, and then there was like a computer error. There was a glitch.
Oh wow, it's
And
still
then it
called
kept
one of the best.
That's why it's one of the. If
It's
that
the
had nailed
best.
it would have been the best, Matt. But that
4 minutes. That's a horrible mistake at a key moment.
But it's okay.
so they just
I got
I don't.
through it.
I don't forgive
Alright.
and forget like you, Jess.
Okay, well, that was
I
obviously...
mean, I never saw it, so I didn't know what happened
That
until
was
now.
the-
But I'm furious.
my 17-year-old Matt is pretty pissed right now.
Heads will roll.
that was the wrong record to start with there, because I've got you angry already.
The longest wait for a computer glitch in Olympic ceremony opening history. 240 long seconds.
It was...
Usain Bolt could do the 100-meter sprint 24 to maybe 25 times in that amount of time. 25 world records could be broken. It threw off the entire international community. That's why the USA blame that Olympics for not going as well as Atlanta. But that 4 minutes really threw off.
That's why it's one of the best and not the best.
Exactly.
Can I go on with some other...
Please do go on.
some other records that they got. Okay, maybe not. There are records, but just like there was a few firsts, like it was quite revolutionary in terms of the opening ceremony. So they were the first ones to use.
Revolution.
I'm
Come
kicking
on,
goals today.
Matt, let's take this seriously.
Sorry.
Fucks. First use of suspended performers. They had like people flying through the air. First use of suspended puppetry, fire breathers. It was the largest stadium to host the opening ceremony with 110,000 people.
It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. The previous was Los Angeles in 1932 with 105,000. So
Wow.
that's quite a big gap. Largest crowd as well, which was 114,000. Not really sure how that works, considering
The
it only
capacity-
holds 110.
It was just really dangerous.
Maybe the people there would have been
Oh,
a
sorry,
few
wait, that
thousand
was
on the
closing
field, right?
ceremony, but it's probably the same place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's
It's the same.
most biggest fire hazard in Olympic history, considering that the water was even on fire.
I think that stadium's now has had its capacity reduced because I'm pretty sure it's only 80,000 can fit there now. I wonder what happened there.
We'll just put in a few like trestle tables. and
Yeah, maybe that was it.
Fold out chairs. Standing
Yeah, that's
room
right.
only. You know how it is. Okay, so the opening ceremony, right? It had a cast. How many people? How many performers do you think there were?
Well, there must have been 4,000 because if the capacity's 110 and there are 114,000
But
people
there's also athletes on in the
true.
parade.
Yeah. No, this is just the performers.
All right,
They're
I'm
not
gonna say
included.
2,500.
I'm going to say, a couple thousand too.
A couple of thousand performers across the entire.
That's a ridiculous amount.
That's a
isn't
lot, isn't it? Maybe 1,000.
400. 1,600.
1,600.
1,000.
12,687.
That is a lot of people.
I don't understand.
That's how many people took part in the ceremony.
Was that a record? That seems like it could be a record.
That's a lot of people.
12,000.
Now, I'm assuming that also sort of includes. It says took part in the ceremony. I'm going to assume that includes like the officials and stuff like that.
Can I revise my guess?
Think about musicians.
I'm thinking it's going to be 6,000.
He said red cordial. No, Matt, it
So
was
high-brained.
12,000.
What? That-
Double.
That
700
is
and something.
ridiculous. All right, let me have one last go.
Okay.
9,000.
Close,
Your
mate.
closest guess, yeah.
Your closest guess. 12,000.
Holy moly.
That's
But
a lot of people.
It just seems like a lot. And are all these people training full time to get this happening?
I don't know, but I remember them being volunteers. Like you did it for the prestige for being in the ceremony.
Well, let's be honest. We were giving them something to do.
Yeah.
The volunteers in this thing.
But my worry would be,
I mean,
Yeah,
if
no.
I think you know them.
if you're volunteering for that, you're probably not like the world's greatest dancers, or you're not
Yeah.
the world's best cello player. If you're like, yeah, I can play cello.
Okay, well, the musicians, I'm pretty sure, were orchestras. They were pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think they were volunteer
But just your
orchestra.
Next
people
thing
in
you're
like
gonna tell me-
fish costumes,
That-
probably not that great.
The athletes were all volunteers. They're all doing it from their own accord. Can't believe it.
In a way, they kind of are.
Unbelievable.
In another
Beautiful.
way, they're doing it for money.
Yeah, and
But
glory.
wait, the Olympics is unpaid, is it, or is it paid?
They
or-
don't get paid.
No, but I think you get paid. Your country
It
pays
funds
you to
to
train
train.
full time.
Yeah.
But the Olympics doesn't give you. It's
Which
not like
is,
Like we have the.
you don't win
Australian
gold,
shoe
so you
sport.
don't get $100,000 check.
Isn't it amazing that the Australian government spends millions on paying athletes to be in the Olympics? Like, what a weird way to spend money.
It is a bit weird, but then I was thinking about the Olympics, and it's kind of, it's one of very few. I can't really think of anything else like it that brings pretty much the entire world together. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of things that we just all do together.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of really nice. Like
Is it nearly every country?
Well, yeah, I think so.
I mean, every year it changes.
But it
Australia
fluctuates
is one
a
of
little bit.
2 countries that's been to every single Olympic Games.
But
Really? I
interesting
didn't know that. Good
fact is that on 2 of those occasions, they came as in a team merged with New Zealand.
Really, the
Yeah.
opening occasion is this?
The second and
1896?
third, I think.
Oh, wow.
Hmm,
We were blended together.
Yeah, for a couple of... So there's
kinda
only
nice.
one country that's been there every time on their own, I think. And that's someone I can't remember right now. And that's a fact.
I would guess Greece.
I was going to say Greece.
It wasn't... I don't think it was Greece. But I think they might... Anyway.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's a good little
I can't remember.
tidbit.
Yeah, that's a tidbit. It's probably a little less than a tidbit because it was missing some of the
tid.
key facts.
Alright.
That's
So it was a
right.
tid.
We've guessed. We've guessed.
So I've broken it into the segments of the ceremony itself. So there was like different themes for each part, and we're gonna go through them. They're very visual, so I'm glad that we're talking about them on a podcast.
That's
This
great.
is a good call on my part.
Just imagine 12,000 people in fish costumes, apparently.
That's coming up later. But
pardon me.
first, the way that we opened the ceremony was with one lone rider, a guy on a stock horse, and the horse just like fangs it into the middle. I think that's a technical term.
yeah.
Horses fang it, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
The horse's name was Ammo.
rider. He's a lone rider. Bum, 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 bum. I could loop it, but
Just keep going. Just sing that underneath the whole time. Okay, so there was
he's a lone rider.
it's an Aussie stock horse. The horse's name was Ammo.
I wonder if Ammo's still around.
I think Ammo might be ridden by. Ammo would be quite old by now.
Stock horse. That's like stock just sort of means your basic thing, right?
Well,
Stock
this
standard
particular horse was a a performer horse. Like this horse knew what he was doing, you know? He's a
Just
showbiz
sort of
horse.
picture him like...
Yeah,
No,
dancing along.
he just ran out as like a normal
Yeah,
horse.
it's an Academy Award nominated horse.
Well, he was ridden by Steve Jeffries. Now, Steve Jeffries and his horse Ammo, they recreated their Olympics entrance during the 2002 Australian stage production of The Man from Snowy River. Jeffries and Ammo had quite a career together.
That's illustrious.
Yeah, and he was this is Steve Jeffries. He's an expert horse whisperer.
Did you get that from his website? Steve Jeffries.
Basically, he's like he
.com.
trains horses. That's all horse whisperer.
But does he claim to be a horse whisperer?
But horse.
Hey, Ammo.
But that's the thing.
Ammo. Yeah. Hey, alright, we're just gonna fang it out on the stadium, okay?
What now?
Yeah, wait, just 1 second. Just give us... We've got to wait 4 minutes. There's been a glitch.
I'm really hungry.
Just hold tight. We'll get you some feed later, but yeah.
You promise it's only 4?
Oh, well, I don't know at this stage, but I imagine it wouldn't be any longer than 4.
Do you know how many 100-metre sprints Usain Bolt could complete in this time?
Oh, 25 or more, I reckon.
But I'm faster than him.
You are faster than him.
I'm the world's fastest horse.
You're a good boy.
Thank you.
And scene.
That's definitely
That's
quote
a-
unquote. Is that also from the website?
Yeah,
We read
that's an
the
excerpt.
script.
It's a little bit disappointing because I did click on what like horse whisperer means, and really it's just a method of training.
Well,
It's not as wanky as it sounds.
An interesting thing there was I was playing Gary Newman. Oh, no, who was I playing?
Steve Jeffries.
Steve Jeffries. Gary Newman's who I always assume everyone is. So I was playing Steve Jeffries, a horse whisperer. But funnily enough, Dave was playing Ammo, also a horse whisperer.
That's right.
Or a whispering horse.
Yeah, that's a cool band name. Steve Jeffries and the Whispering Horses.
That's not bad. I like that.
That's not bad. Right, okay, so this is going really well.
Okay, no, that's good. No, so they fanged it to the middle.
So he rides out into the middle of the stadium, just one man on his horse.
And is everyone else in the crowd like, I was promised 12,000 performers. I've paid $400 for this ticket.
But at this stage, they're kind of like, what's going on here? What's going on here, right? And then the horse rears up, and then Steve cracks his whip, and 120 other riders appear. They're all holding flags, and they come riding out, and they're riding in these beautiful formations. And there was music by Bruce Rowland. It was a special Olympics version of the theme from The Man from Snowy River. I can't hear the difference, but it's an Olympics version.
The horse whisperer's like, turn it down. I can't talk to my horse. He can't hear me. Hello. Turn it down. For God's sake.
I can't bloody yell over the music. I'm not a horse yeller.
Steve, where are you? Steve. He says such crack in the whip. Nah, that's not helping.
Steve, where are you? I forgot if you're on my back or not.
So that's an especial.
Yeah, most of the whispering is still on your back.
I'm right here. On your back. I'm right here, mate.
It really helps now that you can get like those Bluetooth earpieces. So
Yeah.
he just puts that in
Straight
the
in.
horse's ear.
Yeah.
They can.
He's like, g'day, Ammo. Just riding on your back here, mate. Just to let you know I'm still here.
But even if Ammo's in the stable and he's still in the kitchen, he's like, Ammo, look, I'm just finishing my cup of tea. I'll be
Give us another 4 minutes.
yeah, I'll be there in 5. Thanks, mate. Good on you. Right, so then they.
So suddenly, there's a lot of horses out there.
There's 120 horses.
The Olympic
The-
version of the Man from Snowy River is playing.
They're all holding flags, like they've got white flags with the Olympic rings on it, and then they form the Olympic rings, moving.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And they're moving.
yeah.
That's cool. Matt,
Right,
you're
that's
impressed.
pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my word.
Do you know how many whispers you have to say to get
Yeah.
that to happen?
And we're going around in a circle.
Okay, oh, watch that other one. Watch that other horse.
I thought I was the red ring.
And then this,
No, you're the yellow ring.
and then a giant banner drops, painted by Sydney artist Ken Dunn.
Ken
Doan.
Doan.
Doan. I was going to say, I knew I was going to fuck that up. And it said, and the sign just said, "G'day, hey, welcoming the whole world."
Well, he's
Gazy, g'day.
Ken Doan is very
G'day.
very famous in the artistic community for not having much respect for his work. It's very, very
Yeah.
popular among the public, but the artistic community has never respected Ken Doan's work.
Great.
Is that partially because he'll sell it, like he sells it to onto tea towels and everything? He just like gets it out there everywhere. Tism, you know how I like to bring Tism up.
You'll get
based on
Tism and
anything.
Nazis into every episode.
So Tism, a Melbourne band from the 80s and 90s and today. Well, they're not from today. They broke up about 10 years ago. But they had an EP cover that was a Kendone-style koala injecting a syringe into its eyeball or mouth. Anyway, there was a syringe, and Kendone sued successfully, and they had to, one day after they put it out in the stores, they had to recall them.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then they changed the name to recalled due to legal advice or something like that. But then I think that and had just the tiny corner, Kendone style writing "tism," and he said no good. So then they had to release a third.
They
cover.
Recalled a second.
I don't know.
my
Maybe
God.
they weren't approved for that second one, and then the third one they had was Sinead O'Connor ripping up a piece of paper that said "tism" on it.
Cool.
And that one was okay.
fine.
Sinead was cool with that.
She was not offended.
No.
Wow.
Which was taken, I realised recently, from her hosting spot on, or performance spot on Saturday Night Live in the 90s. Anyway, sorry about that.
That's okay.
We're not talking about the 90s. We're talking about the year 2000.
The year
Kendone.
Wow, isn't
G'day.
that so futuristic.
121 horses.
This still sounds like the future. The year
It
2000.
does, doesn't it?
does.
It was 15 years ago.
So it says g'day.
Yeah, so we're in it now. We're doing it. You know, like
Is the crowd erupted
the
now?
crowd's going absolute batshit. I think is the technical term. They're losing their goddamn minds. So now we move on to the second segment called Deep Sea Dreaming.
And who has directed all of this?
Various people are responsible for each segment. There's like a I did have a list, but I didn't think
it's
that
not
would matter.
just there's not one artistic director.
No, I'm sure
There
there's
probably
like
was
a
one,
body. Yeah,
yeah.
there's probably one, but they each sort of new segment had a team of people. It was like concept by this person and choreography by this person. It was like a huge effort. It's pretty massive, and they must work on it for a very long time.
Were there a lot of the few things of these that I've seen over the years, different opening ceremonies? It's always commentators having to explain. They're like, and
Yes.
the horses represent freedom in
big
Australia.
time. Yeah,
Is it a lot of
There's
that sort
so
of,
much of
I'm
that.
wondering if you're in the crowd. It's obviously impressive, but you're not hearing that commentary.
or getting that bird's eye view of it, which you kind of need for a lot of the things.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you
you can-
probably can't see a lot of it.
A lot of it, yeah. If they zoom out and you zoom out, all together they all make the Olympic rings
Exactly.
or the map of Australia. But if you're there, you're just like, oh, there's horses going round and round.
But so the Commonwealth Games were in Melbourne in 2006, I believe.
Yep.
And because I'd been sick and missed out on going to the Olympics when I was 10, my dad took me to the opening ceremony of the Commonwealth Games when they were in Melbourne, like kind of to make up for it. I got to go to a lot of events in the Commonwealth Games, but especially the opening ceremony. And like it's not the same as the Olympics, but the atmosphere is just ridiculous, and like I think you get like the best of both worlds. Like watching it on TV, you can see like it's well filmed, but then being there and seeing like everybody in the audience having like those little flashing lights and stuff looks amazing.
Give me a sweet buzz.
Sweet buzz for 16-year-old Jess.
Yeah,
10-year-old Jess, pretty pissed.
Yeah.
Pretty pissed. Anyway,
So stage 2.
what I really like about this opening ceremony, it's probably the same as all of them as well though. I feel like they've just sat down at a table with like butcher's paper and coloured textures and said, all right, what's Australian? And they've just like gone through, and they've covered everything, like everything that's like stereotypically Australian.
People are
done
just
it.
drawing it live, or they've brought it out pre-drawn.
No, I feel like this is how they planned it.
Oh, I planned it right.
Yeah.
Steve Irwin was still alive at the time. Did they get him involved?
He was not involved.
Any crocodiles at all? Any
Well,
live crocodiles?
No live crocodiles. No,
All right, well, we're gonna
just the
do
live
crocodile.
horses.
The Croc Whisperer.
All right, we're gonna just fang it out.
Just fang into the middle.
On the count of 3.
No, not bite, fang. Oh no, it's
God.
Look, I can see how you got confused. Oh no, the horses.
And then
Oh no,
Dale
Nikki
Braithwaite
Webster.
sings the horses.
Right, on my count, we're going to take a Michael Chang Fang, into the corner. That's my rhyming slang. Take a Michael.
It's very good. A Michael Chang is to fang it. Anyway, okay, Deep Sea Dreaming. Now, if you don't have the commentator while you're watching this, you don't know that this segment celebrates Australia's affinity with the sea.
Oh, which we are girt
Ocean.
by.
We are girt by sea. So they turned the whole stadium floor into like a beach. Like they projected like sand onto
That's cool.
which is pretty cool, into the stadium. And that's where little Nikki Webster comes skipping out.
Oh, this is her debut.
This is her. This is where Nikki shines. So she's wearing that pink little sundress and
How old is she at this time?
She was 13.
Okay.
I was very jealous of her at the time. So she's this tiny little person, and she just comes out into the middle. Again, there's nobody else on the stadium. She's just there by herself.
Oh, so it's just projections and her.
No, projections
Of
like
sandy
sand,
stuff, and then
she
she
comes
walks out.
And
Fangs
then
it out.
She fangs it out.
All right, Nikki.
It's a guy riding on her back.
A Nikki Whisperer. So she comes out and she's pretending that she's acting like she's sunbaking, right? And then she falls asleep and she goes into like this little.
Oh no! She's gonna get burnt.
Then she gets really badly sunburned. So
yeah, she's a redhead too, isn't she? She's a very
yeah.
very.
Well, she was strawberry blonde.
She'd
Strawberry
be
blonde. You know.
burnt in seconds.
Yeah.
I don't
Big
know.
time.
Anyway, so she's.
Luckily, it's night
So
time.
now there's a dream sequence.
She's dreaming, and so there's all these performers coming out as sea creatures. So that was a tribute to the Great Barrier Reef. Which, they're like, what's Australian? Great Barrier Reef? Let's do it. Put
Love
in some
it.
fish.
It sounds like an American has produced the opening ceremony so far.
Yeah,
what do I
that's right.
think of Australians?
Horseback.
Horses.
Yeah.
The phrase "g'day."
Beach.
But at least those are things that other countries would recognise. There's some references later where it's kind of like, nobody knows what you're doing, guys.
Hills hoist.
It's funny for us, not far off. In fact, I think there were hills hoists. I think there
Great.
were. So it's pretty great. And so then Nikki Webster gets hoisted up into the air. She goes,
Hills hoisted into the air. A little known fact that it's the only Olympic ceremony to feature a giant hills hoist. Just a record.
somebody runs out, attaches some cords to a child.
No, they just peg it on.
She gets pegged. She gets flung up into the air. She fangs it up into the air.
Life size
if
Goon
you're-
of Fortune. She's the bag, playing the part of the bag.
If you're not Australian, hills hoist is like our outdoor clothesline.
Yeah.
Just so you know, because otherwise. Hills hoist whisperer.
This joke won't get old.
No, it's so good.
Only for the listeners.
For us, very funny.
I cannot wait for the gaze whisperer, Andrew Gaze. Now, just start waving the flag.
So hold the flag. Hold this bit. Okay, good job.
Put it around your Gary bag.
No, it was, Gazy was whispering to the flag.
Yeah.
All right, what I'm going to do.
Just going to do a big 360.
I'm going to flap you from one side to the other. Here we go. And again, and again.
Oh no, you're tangled. You're tangled. All right. So Nikki, she's suddenly in the air.
She's suddenly there. She's doing flips. And there's enormous jellyfish and like a giant fish and all these amazing creatures.
Is she having a good time or is she scared?
Oh, she's having a great time.
Oh,
She's
good.
swimming through. She's like,
Was there any of these sort of hands?
no. Thank you for doing a visual gag. I don't know if I
Well, thanks for calling it a gag.
she was swimming and she's doing flips and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very jealous, right? So then she's joined by all these other.
You're still jealous.
I'm still jealous of Nikki Webster, but I probably shouldn't be. She's had a weird life.
But she was she's cast out of obscurity into this role.
Kind of. She'd been performing since she was like 5. I did a bit of research on Nikki Webster, and she'd been in like a few stage productions and stuff like that.
Oh,
And then
okay.
she auditioned for the role and got it, and then just went nuts from there. Just
'Cause I remember everyone was talking about, who's this little girl?
yeah, well,
Who
she
is
wasn't
she?
like on Neighbours. She wasn't that well known, but it wasn't just her first time, first rodeo. God,
For her first whisperer.
it wasn't her first whisperer.
Okay, cool.
So then she's swimming along, and then there's like a dozen other swimmers in bright green wetsuits, and they're fake swimming through the air, just in case you thought they were actually swimming. And they had a big projection of the Australian swimming coach Laurie Lawrence, just like yelling like "Go guys!" And he's, like,
But so they
encouraging
haven't let him. He's not in the air. He's
not-
projected.
He's projected.
They wouldn't trust him on a wire.
No, well he's the coach, you know. He's not going to be just in the pool. You can't coach
But
from within the pool, can
Do you think anyone would know unless the commentator said, "Oh, that's Laurie blah blah, the coach"?
Again, the Australians would have. And I was like, who is it in the audience? Australians mostly.
Yeah, Laurie was big time back then.
Yeah.
Was he big time?
It was a household name.
So they had that. So then the next segment was called Awakening, and this was to.
Is that Nikki done? She done now?
No.
Okay, pardon me.
Oh,
Yep.
Nikki comes back. That sounds so creepy. The Awakening was to acknowledge the Australia's Aboriginal past. And so like an Aboriginal elder guides Nikki Webster through like the stage. And okay, if you're going to get anybody to narrate this part of the show, Aboriginal...
Is it Look, there's probably a few good options, but I'm guessing Ernie Dingo.
Ernie Dingo.
I was going to guess John Howard.
Yeah.
No, Ernie Dingo.
Ernie Dingo. So they're just like, all right, we got this bit about Indigenous Australians. Who do you reckon we
He's got a
should-
great voice.
great voice.
It's a great
Yeah.
voice.
And I saw Crocodile Dundee 2 a few weeks ago.
It was on TV.
He was
wasn't
in it, and he was a super babe.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't
Really?
realize he was like a sexy man.
He's got
Now
a
I think of him
killer
as like an
smile.
oldish guy, but he was.
But 35 years
Holy
ago, he
moly.
was.
Yeah.
Is that
and-
how old that movie is?
No,
No.
it would be maybe 25 years old, I think.
Oh, it's got to be mid 80s.
The first one.
Mid to late 80s. The second. I'm talking about the second
Second
one.
one was. Oh god. Okay. Well, that's who
I,
else?
I
Whose
think
turn
it's
is
late
it next?
80s. I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah.
Either
Ernie
way, I
Dingo,
think
bit of
we're.
a babe.
Either way,
Either,
the dingo is a babe.
Bit of
Yeah.
a bloody babe.
the dingo is a baby. The dingo ate my. No, I couldn't quite. Dingo's got me. Dingo's got me. He's a baby. No. All right, let's move on.
That was an example of how not to do rhyming slang. Thank you, Matt.
Good. Good. So now we move on to nature.
So this is stage 4
This
now.
is stage 4.
Okay.
Nature. Kind of blends in nicely because the awakening was just kind of there's not a lot happen. It was a short segment, just a bit of a dance segment. Then nature, where they talked about like the outback, and so it had all these fire performers like fire jugglers and fire breathers. Not
Does that
breathers,
happen
but-
in the outback?
Well, because what they would do is representing a bushfire.
Oh.
So there was literally hundreds of them
Through
walking
carnies.
across.
yeah, through carnival folk.
Yeah, carnival folk. So there's all these. So they were symbolising like a bushfire taking over, and then all these people dressed as Australian distinctive wildflowers came out, and it was kind of like burning and then new life.
Oh, very good.
You know, so they had the golden wattle, which is our national flower, which I'm sure you know.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm
Oh, I
aware
know.
of that. And the pink heath is Victoria's floral emblem.
I don't think it was.
That's a great fact there. Thank you,
yeah,
Matt.
good one. The Waratah, which is a state flower of New South Wales, they used that one a bit.
Oh,
The
yeah, that makes
Sturt's desert pea, water lilies, and eucalyptus flowers.
sense.
All very Australian.
Classics.
Beautiful. So like they've covered. Okay, so far they've covered like indigenous, nature, fish. What's next?
What I hate to think. What?
What's next? This segment is called Tin Symphony.
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 And that is about European settlement.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right.
So
And
I thought it
panning
was-
for gold.
Panning for
I
gold.
thought
It's
it
a
was
bit of everything.
I thought it was just going to be like a bush band, like someone's with the lager phone, which
Yeah.
is the bottle caps and the thing.
So it starts with the arrival of James Cook with bicycles to represent his ship, the Endeavour. I'm like, well,
Hang on.
you probably could have made a ship, but okay.
How, bicycles?
Yeah, they had like these weird bike things.
I felt like
bike
that someone
things.
wanted to use those, so they put them in.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not surprised at all.
Okay, so that's Cook.
So they've got like all this Irish jig music, and all these performers are dressed as Ned Kelly. Again, it's like, Australia, Ned Kelly.
Yep.
But not just Ned Kelly.
That's quite a
They're
time.
dressed as Sidney Nolan's Ned Kelly.
Great.
Oh, get an art reference in there as well.
And they're all
But
holding guns that have like fireworks coming out of them.
it's quite a time jump from Cook to straight to Ned Kelly.
Straight into Ned Kelly. We don't have time for
No settlement.
no, none of that.
It's not is it a huge jump? It's like, when was Ned's time? That's 8. So maybe 100-year jump.
Yeah, it's like 100
Oh,
years.
not quite 100 years. When was Ned around? Early 18s?
I
No,
wouldn't say-
mid.
Mid. And when this
I would've said
and it was
late.
first fleet was 1788. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That is a bit of a jump.
It is, but they just don't have time. You know, it's
Good point.
a long show, but you've got a lot to pack in.
Look,
you know?
Actually, to be fair, they've just given the Aboriginal people like a 2-minute segment,
It's
and that
not
was
a- not a
that
bit.
was
they
40,000
had-
years.
yeah,
So,
that's
pardon, please
was
forgive me.
Yeah,
and that
they didn't-
involved Nikki Webster
Yeah.
for some reason.
Being guided for some
Oh.
They
reason.
didn't get
my
the
God.
prop budget. They just kind of danced.
That is
It's still
incredible.
great, but-
that 40,000 years. I didn't like that's very interesting.
They should, if they'd done it to time scale, the Captain Cook bit to now would have been about approximately 4 seconds. Anyway,
This was like a I think this would have been a really confusing part of it for anybody who wasn't Australian, even people who are Australian. Like there was all these symbolic items of the outback, like corrugated iron and stormwater tanks. And
Stormwater tanks.
And some of them had like umbrellas that looked like cogs. So as they like turned the umbrellas, it looked like. So it's not particularly.
What is that to symbolise our love of shade?
Industrial growth.
Yeah, cogs were an
wheels.
invention of an Australian, I think.
In the outback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, actually, Cogs. So I'm thinking Cogs was the nickname of the drummer from Powderfinger. I knew there was an Australian connection.
And that's what they were getting at.
Yeah.
They're like, anyway.
Two very separate facts there, mate.
Yeah, the Cogs thing's definitely not true.
Okay, so we got million Ned Kellys
Yep.
celebrating that.
Just shooting
Murderer.
their firework guns. And then they somehow construct a shed in the middle of the stadium out of corrugated iron sheets. And
Is it big?
I know what's
It's pretty
coming
big.
now. A Victor lawnmower.
Yes. Yes, because what happened was like they had all these like people like chucking out these boxes that were supposed to be like sheep, but then the boxes are moving because there's people inside them. So the boxes are like flipping around, and then they all get out and they're in like Hawaiian shirts and hats.
Hawaiian shirt.
Hawaiian shirt, the symbol of
And
this,
they
this
get out
great
their-
Australian land.
Their lawnmowers and form the Olympic rings as
Hold on, I
Really
can't tell if
banging
you're
on about
joking.
that.
No, I'm dead set serious. They
Oh, no,
they
you-
mowed
hold on.
the lawn.
In the Olympic rings.
Yeah.
And this is the best ever opening ceremony.
Yes.
They're awful.
It sounds terrible.
Lawnmowers.
But it's an opening ceremony. They're all awful.
They are. That's the thing. They're bad.
Why are the people?
They're lame.
Why are
Very
people
lame.
lawn mowering?
They're Rocker Stedfords with a huge budget. That's
Oh
all
my
they are.
God! Yes, that's the perfect way to put it. Because we're the only country in the world that has lawns, apparently. So,
Yeah, we are proud of the dumbest things.
yeah. That's
The
but
Victor
that's also how we're choosing to represent ourselves,
Yeah.
like
The-
lawnmowers.
I know, that's what I mean. It just seems because Matt made the joke about Victor Lawnmower, and then 2 seconds later you're like, and then they're mowing the lawn in the shape of the Olympic ring. I couldn't tell if you're
It's
taking
serious,
a
so
piss.
they-
No,
doing
as
like
soon
these-
as she said the shed, I knew it was going to be Victor Lawnmower. The
Lawnmower.
things that we always go on about, and these were probably all represented. Victor Lawnmower, the Hills Hoist, Lamingtons,
Vegemite?
Vegemite, Sheep's Back,
Yep.
and Ned Kelly. And I
Yep.
think you've already mentioned all of those
Most
apart
of
from the
them.
Lamington.
I don't think they went down the food route of Lamingtons and.
Everyone look under your chair. There is a Lamington and a Vegemite.
You get a Lamington.
Scroll.
You get a Lamington. Opens there. Now, this next segment, when
What-
I first read it, I was like, I can't say this on the podcast because it sounds hella racist.
What are we up to?
Oh,
What,
But it
what
ties
stage?
together. Arrivals,
Okay.
which isn't the Olympians arriving. This is like migration to Australia, right? So this is to embrace our multiculturalism,
Okay.
right? So you might understand why this sounds
They
awful.
skipped over the genocide then, is that fair to
Yeah,
say?
yeah, well, yep. We're only looking at
Matt.
the positives.
No time. No time. We're on a time constraint.
It would have
Um,
probably been a weird thing to celebrate.
So they basically had like each continent reflected in a float. So all these floats come out. And so it was to say like all these continents, all these places coming together in Australia, we're multicultural, right? So they chose different colours for each continent.
Continent. Okay.
Okay. So African continent came out first. And they were wearing black costumes.
Are they African people?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Well, maybe they're genuinely African people.
Yeah, see, it's fine because it makes sense at the end, but the first couple don't sound great. Then the Asian immigrants represented
By yellow?
yellow.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So
good.
we're kind of going, ooh, what's going on here? But they were led by the Chinese lion dancers that were bright yellow as
Great.
well.
Yeah.
Then Europe was introduced by the colour of green, and then red
well, that
for
is-
people from the Americas. And then
Red Indians.
The
which
Northern
is
American. Do they
it just
just?
says the Americas.
So they combine sort of two continents
I'm
there,
guessing so.
north and south.
Well, because they only want to have 5 because
The
it's the
5
colours of
Olympic
the Olympic
rings.
rings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Spoiler,
exactly.
pardon me.
Exactly. So originally I was like, what? And I was like, oh, okay.
Okay,
so Olympic
so-
rings, that's fine.
Who's blue then?
Blue is the Pacific
Asia.
Islands.
Oh, Pacific Islands.
Yeah.
So they
And-
get their own.
Emphasis on New
Australia?
Zealand.
And
Well, no,
Australia?
because we are Australia. So we're saying that like these are all the places
They
coming
came to
to
Australia.
Australia. this
Just the
isn't
big
even so
arms.
much about the Olympic Games itself. It's sort of about Australia's culture.
So they see them as the big groups. So did you say just China had its own one though? Or was that
Asia.
representative of all of Asia?
It was all of Asia. Asian immigration.
I just added in. You said Chinese dragons.
Yeah.
Or if I okay. Yeah, that's cool.
And
that
then they
sounds
kind of
alright.
all come together. The idea being that they're now creating like the Australian continent.
And do they make a map or something?
I think they might have. Yeah, I think they did. And there was like all these children dressed in the Olympic colours, and they made the shape of Australia. While Nikki Webster performed the song "Under Southern Skies."
By
It's
Lee
great.
Koenigen.
I've had it stuck in my head
Is
for
it?
several days.
I don't think so.
What's under Southern?
I wouldn't be surprised if you wrote it though.
Yeah,
It was written by Slim Dusty.
Slim Dusty.
So, don't you find it funny that on things like that, we're so proud of our migration and our multiculturalism, but
Yeah.
just day to day, and people like everyone will be watching it. The people who watch and enjoy those things are like, yeah, that's right, Australia, we're
Yeah.
proud of it.
We'll give
But
everyone
then
a
the
go.
next day, hey, fuck off, we're full.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
I know.
No,
same people,
the
it's so
next
weird.
day is like, fuck off, Ghana. We're going to win the marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
We'll beat you.
Yeah, that is weird. I used to really be just like, yeah, come on, the Australian person in the thing for some reason. It's the weirdest thing that I don't know this guy. What do I care if he wins or not?
Yeah, I just want the best person to win, and they all tried their best. Okay, so now Nikki Webster's made her return. She's sung Under Southern Skies. Great song.
Is it great?
It is actually quite nice.
Does it mention the Southern Cross?
Under the southern skies. Yes, because they use some kids to form a large representation of the Southern Cross, and they're holding lanterns. So now the next bit was my favourite bit, but in retrospect, it would have been so strange, not only to people from not from Australia, but also Australians. So do you remember at all the part where Adam Garcia was tap dancing?
Oh, vaguely. I
Bootmen?
remember there was Bootmen. I remember the
Bootmen, the movie hadn't come out yet.
Oh,
So this is even out of context for Australian audiences.
it's like a weird promo.
Yeah, it was like a...
Did Bootmen get a budget because people were impressed by this?
No, it was coming out... Well, it must have come out in the following months, because they said Bootmen upcoming film in the commentary, and this was in September, so it must have come out...
Has Film Australia just paid for a big ad or
Oh
something?
yeah,
here?
I don't understand
Is
how it
Adam-
happened.
Is Adam Garcia the one from that American movie about a bar where they
Coyote Ugly.
Coyote Ugly?
Yes.
Is that him?
Yes, yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, and that was so. And he was also on Dirty Laundry this year.
He's done a few bits and pieces. He's been like judges on Dancing with the Stars and a few American shows and stuff like that. Like he's had a pretty good dancing career.
And is Bootmen his thing?
No, he was just he was in the movie. He was the star of the film.
Right.
So it starts with just him in the middle of a stadium, just tap dancing by himself, and then what happens is he rises up, and there's like 2 tiers of dancers, all in like flannies and work boots, like Bootmen, but that wouldn't have made any sense to people because they hadn't seen Bootmen yet. So they're just like, why are these tradies dancing? But it was great, and then they even had people with like grinders.
I
To-
remember
to
just
a rhythm,
sparks going
Sparks
out.
going
Yeah, I
everywhere
remember
while they
that.
tap dance, and they're all wearing safety goggles, and then there's people tap dancing down the aisles as part of the audience.
It all sounds like it is beyond parody. You could not make fun of this.
And it sounds a lot like that episode of The Simpsons with the gay steel mill.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where they're all dancing and there's like sparks
We
and
work
stuff.
hard, we play hard.
That's exactly what I'm imagining.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. So that was a little bit strange.
I love butch masculine sort of stereotypical things being portrayed by dance.
Yeah,
It's the best.
It's so great.
Billy Joel's film clip for Uptown Girl. They're all playing mechanics, and then all of a sudden they're low clicking and
Amazing.
strutting around. It's so good.
So
Like-
great.
In perfect choreography.
Yeah.
And
the
these
best.
guys are in like the wife beater singlets, and they've got flannies tied around their waist, so they're wearing flannies, shorts, like they're bearded big men, and they're like tap dancing away.
So the Bogans
beautiful
are
and
like,
graceful.
Bogans at home are like, I just don't know how to feel about
Yeah,
this.
I mean it's bloody beautiful, but I don't
Yeah,
understand.
he looks fantastic.
Oh, the taps, they're bloody great.
Oh, the sparks from that saw. My God.
Very strange. And then it goes into the Sydney 2000 Olympic Band. Right, so it's a marching band.
Oh, I like a good marching band.
How many
I
people
like a
do you
good
reckon were in the
marching
marching
band.
band?
How many people?
How many members in the band?
Oh, 50?
12,000.
2,000.
Whoa.
It required 6 conductors, 2,000 musicians.
That's
So
many.
there was 1,000 musicians just from Australia and 1,000 from other countries around the
That's
world.
cool.
So they brought in other people.
What a great symbol.
6 conductors, and all the band members wore dryser bones, like specific made dryser bones.
Fuck off.
I know.
Really?
Yeah, but they were like white with like blue and white striped sleeves. And then I looked into it. So they made, Dryser Bone made 2,000 coats for these people. All the 120 stockmen at the start were all wearing Dryser Bone. And every single medal, what were they called? The medal presenter during the entire games were wearing Dryser Bones. Can you imagine?
How dry the stadium was.
So it was also summer. You don't need to be wearing a Dryser Bone.
So Dryser Bonus has picked up a sweet contract.
Yeah.
They've just made 3,000 of them.
They've
They're not
just
cheap.
They're not cheap. But like, imagine the publicity for that. Like,
Long leather jackets. Well, that would have been around the time of The Matrix as well, right? Which
Oh yeah, that's
similar
right.
fashion.
Neo.
well, not so much. Yeah, I don't know if they're quite as fashionable. Now, this is a little interesting fact. I was going to save this sort of to the end, but
Fun fact.
This marching band, this Olympic band, was the only live sound created that night. So every other song, Nikki Webster,
Even the
miming,
What about the tap dancing?
the taps were pre-recorded.
Oh,
How funny are taps that are pre-recorded?
what? So they're just jumping
Well,
around.
they're not quite in time.
I
It's
think
the funniest thing.
no, but I think the first part where it's just Adam Garcia, so it's only him that you can see. I'm sure that was, well, that must have been live because how do you tap perfectly to?
Well, he's Adam Garcia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. So maybe I
He's
don't.
in Coyote Ugly.
I wouldn't put it past
Yeah.
them.
I wouldn't. He's bloody great.
He's bloody perfect.
So
I have no idea who that is.
everything
but
else,
that's okay.
even the Sydney Orchestra, who performed all the music, were miming the whole time.
Oh, what's the point?
Isn't that ridiculous? Because it was to like combat because they were worried about like wind.
It's very
and
difficult to perform in an open stage. It's not built for
110,000
sound.
But yeah, it's not built for that. It's a bit
But
exciting.
the 2,000 band members are live.
They were live, which is pretty cool. So that's a little fun fact about that and about Dryser
Even
Bones.
the horse whispering was pre-recorded.
Yeah. Okay, Ammo, I believe in you. So now we get to the Parade of Nations, which is the longest and most boring part of any Olympics
Imagine
ever
if
done.
you're like Australia or Azerbaijan or something that comes out first. You've got to
not
wait.
when you're the host country though.
Exactly, we came
That's
out
right.
last.
Come out last. But does Greece always come out first? Is that correct?
Always, yes.
That's interesting.
Greece
They always
comes
come
out.
first as the it's an Olympic tradition because it was the birthplace of the Olympics.
So they've got to wait a long time.
Just hanging out.
But they're all partying up on the inside.
Must
They
be
always
pretty
look
cool. Yeah,
like
the-
they're having fun.
Yeah, they're always dancing around and they got cameras and on the phone to their
You're hanging out
family
with your
and stuff.
mates, I guess.
Yeah, there's always footage of them like on the phone. There was footage of Kieran Perkins on the phone.
And if you're
Perkins.
if you're a swimmer, it sucks because your events are that week. But if you're a track athlete, you'd be doing drugs and
Oh.
getting
Well,
drunk and
that's
whatever.
probably why they thought, because that's what my mum was saying. There was talk that like they definitely wouldn't pick a swimmer to light the cauldron because too much pressure they'd be competing the next day. But like Kathy Freeman only competed 10 days later,
Right.
so
Yep.
they're still like, oh, it might not, but it was her. Spoiler alert.
That 4-minute delay.
Yeah. So a few fun facts about that parade.
Parade
Good-
fun fact.
Good luck.
Did not think I'd be hearing that phrase when we started this episode.
There was a record at the time, I think it's been beaten since, of 199 nations competing in the 2000 Olympics.
It's quite a lot.
Let's go through them.
The only missing IOC member being Afghanistan, which was suspended due to the Taliban's regime, which prohibited practicing any kind of sport.
Oh, makes sense.
Don't worry, guys.
So we
Hey.
banned them,
No, I think
but they'd banned sport.
suspended.
Or they
no.
suspended themselves.
Well, yeah, they didn't really want to. They were like, no sport.
Yeah, so they're saying no sport, and then the Olympics are like,
Well,
yeah, we ban you anyway.
yeah, exactly, pretty
We
much.
don't need you.
The most remarkable was North and South Korea entered as one team.
Oh wow.
Oh, they came into the stadium as one team, and I think they still competed separately.
Yeah,
But
they call themselves like the People's Democratic Republic of Korea.
Yeah, they had like this.
And then there's like the Republic of Korea.
They had this specially
they won every
designed
event, right?
flag. just to walk in together.
But they had the same flag.
Yeah, like they all came into the stadium as one team.
That's really sweet.
They designed a flag just for that unification.
That's really, really surprising.
Isn't that? I think it's kind of nice.
And that was under the old, what was his name? Kim Jong-il.
Kim Jong-il.
The illest. That's that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
He's the one who all their papers say they win every event back home, right?
Yeah, I think so. We're just dominating you guys.
Well, we are killing this
Oh,
Olympic
boy.
thing.
And there was also 4 athletes from East Timor who marched into the parade. They were just because East Timor wasn't a country yet.
Oh, right. They were still in Australian territory or something?
I'm not sure what they were before that, but they were allowed. So they had no national Olympic committee because they had no country. So they competed under the Olympic flag. They were just
Cool.
like individuals, which is pretty cool. And then my favourite part. I think this is my favourite part. John Farnham, Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, together at last.
Dare to Dream, song written specifically for the occasion. And again, this is where I started to get, because I was watching clips because I was research and also it's just super fun to watch. And their voices are too good. Like I know.
Do you think that Farnsey and Olivia Newton-John...
John the Voice Farnham,
Do you
his
think...
voice was too good? Jess, come on, please.
Come on. Conspiracy.
Pre-recorded.
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 Look, I'd accept that from Olivia.
I know. But obviously they can both sing. We know that.
Oh no, absolutely. And you know they'd still sing well live, but it was kind of like...
Just too hard.
It just sounded too clear.
Yeah.
I was like, this is too perfect. And especially especially while Nikki Webster's running around and singing, I was like, nobody can sing that well while moving and adrenaline, and you're 13 years old and you probably weigh about 20 kilos. There's no way you can...
This sounds like Jealous Jess coming in
It is
again.
100% Jealous Jess.
But also, yeah, like a big space like that, speakers give you sound at different times and stuff, right?
And it's just perfect.
Yeah.
So they're miming it, which is very disappointing. But they're walking through the Olympians, and you can see like the Australians are all just like, ah, because
John Farnham.
Yeah. It was beautiful. It's a great song. Dare to Dream. It was lovely.
And people from Cambodia are like, who's that?
Who are these people? So now we're getting to the crux of it. We're nearly there. Like,
What would you define as the crux of the event?
Well, we've already talked about it, so we kind of ruined it. But like the lighting of the cauldron. Like
All right, that's always a pretty big part of the ceremony.
It's a big part. It's a big part. And there's a couple of really nice things that sort of happened before that. So the Olympic flags is carried in by 8 former Australian Olympic champions.
Together or passed from
Together.
one?
No, together. So they walk it in. Like it's a gigantic flag. So they walk it in 4 on each side.
And who we got?
Yeah. We've got Bill Roycroft, who's at equestrian. Murray Rose, swimming. Leanne Tooth, field hockey. Gillian Rolton, equestrian. A few equestrians in here. Marjorie Jackson, athletics. Lorraine Crapp, amazing name, swimming.
I think of Quiche when I hear her name.
Every time.
Every time. Michael Wendon, swimming, and Nick Green, rowing.
I've never heard of any of those guys. Have
I've
you?
heard of Murray Rose.
Nick Green's from the Awesome Foursome.
Yeah,
Okay,
Nick
good.
Green's
I've heard of the
probably
Awesome
one of the youngest. I think he's only in his 40s now, so he was quite young.
He's about to win a gold medal in a week or two.
Oh,
Ooh,
spoilers.
Okay, so they've got a giant flag between them.
Yeah, so all these former Olympic champions bring that in, and then Tina Arena comes out.
Oh,
Tina Arena, she sings "The Flame," beautiful. Again,
I'm
pre-recorded.
in flame. Yeah.
Is the song written for the ceremony?
Yep, written specifically for the ceremony, and she performs it with the Sydney Children's Choir as well.
But they're all miming.
Yeah, I think yeah, they
Fair
are.
call.
And Herb Elliott brings he's
Runner.
done the last. Yeah, he was in athletics. He's done the last leg, and he brings the
torch?
into the stadium.
Is he going to go the whole way? And Bruce is probably saying,
Oh,
maybe it's Herb.
Maybe
Herb the
Herb
guy?
will do it.
Yeah. Bruce definitely knows.
Yeah.
He's been
Oh,
told.
he knows. Something kind of cool is that the Sydney 2000 Olympics was the 100th year of women participating in the Olympic Games,
Bloody good.
which is kind of cool. So,
About time too.
About time to have 100 years.
in honour of that,
So they just missed out on the first one. Women 1896 obviously is the first ever Olympics, so London 1900.
First of the modern Olympics. Yeah.
That's right. 1900 is the
that's not
second.
that impressive then, is it? Like if it had been
It's
going
only
for
the
100
second.
years and then...
It's only the second ever Olympics.
Oh, God, women, bloody sooks. You missed out on one.
Come
Calm
on.
down. Somebody had
Did
to stay
they
home and look
do-
after the kids.
The year before, did they do 100 years of men in the Olympics? I mean, come on.
No,
If we won equality,
Well, they had. Well, Muhammad Ali lit the torch at
Yeah.
Atlanta,
which is
so
a nice touch, I thought.
because he is
For men.
a man. Doing it for the men out there.
It is about time men got their recognition in
I'd like to-
sport.
I could not agree more.
I'd like to dedicate this torch to all male athletes,
All men.
old and young, around the world.
Okay, well, I
Keep
thought
the-
this was a really nice moment until I realised that that's the case. And
That
that's
is-
No, it's
now
still,
it's,
that's
well,
still
it's
nice.
still
fine.
better.
So they honoured that by there was former Australian women Olympic champions did the last sort of leg of the torch race. The
Oh.
torch. What am I saying?
I do remember vaguely. So
One of the most boring races of all time. There's only one
Just-
team competing.
And they take their time. No, but this is like
and
I
they're all 65 plus.
Yeah, but I remember watching this and it's kind of like, wow, it was really moving and you didn't know who was going to be next. So you can hear the crowd just going absolutely batshit crazy when they find out who they're passing it on to. It was really amazing. So first up you've got Betty Cuthbert,
I remember Betty Cuthbert.
Betty.
4 Olympic gold medals.
Yeah, she's amazing.
I'm just doing Olympics as well. You look at the Commonwealth Games and World Championships. These people are freaks. But 4 Olympic gold medals for Betty. Now she had MS, so she's pushed in a wheelchair by Raylene Boyle. 3 silver Olympic medals for athletics as well. Then they pass it on to Dawn Fraser.
Heard of her?
4 gold and 4 silver for her swimming, and a bunch of world records and Commonwealth Games. Who then passes it on to Shirley Strickland, who has 3 gold, 1 silver, and 3 bronze.
How good are these names?
Shirley.
Betty,
Great
Shirley.
names.
Shirley Strickland Ballroom. Great.
Fun one for Shirley. She won more Olympic medals than any other Australian in running sports.
So how many? What did she win?
3.
3 gold, 1 silver, more medals, not just
Yeah.
gold. So 3 gold, 1 silver, 3 bronze.
Yeah, because
Bloody
we
good.
are not
7.
good runners traditionally.
No, because the Kenyans keep beating us.
Bloody Kenyans.
Bloody Kenyans.
They're bloody fast. Now, Shirley hands it over to
The
Shane
Americans
Gould.
go okay as well, I think.
3 gold, a silver, and a bronze, all at the 1972 Olympics. She did 1 Olympics,
Wow.
retired at 17 years old.
So
3
3 gold.
a silver, and a bronze.
She
5
killed it.
medals in her first Olympics, and she's like, I'm out. And then she retired because of the pressure, and then came back in like masters levels and just beat a whole bunch of world records again.
Huh.
What a freak!
What a master.
What an absolute freak! Who then she hands it over to Debbie Flintoff King.
Debbie.
1 gold for athletics.
Fun fact, I sold the heating and cooling system to Debbie Flintoff King's new house.
Oh,
Is this true?
la dee
My
da.
God, what kind of premises is Debbie Flintoff King dwelling
Well,
in?
I'm not going to... I think that's in confidence.
Confidentiality,
please. Thank you.
clientele.
I'll tell you off air.
I was going to say, tell us after the podcast. Now, so Debbie's running through the middle of the Olympians.
Does she look like she's
Does
sweating?
that sound funny
No,
out of
fine.
context? It's like all of a sudden I'm selling air conditioners, but...
That's what you used to do.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's not that funny. Hey, sorry.
Funny.
Hey, it's nice that we're celebrating women, and I've just spent the whole episode talking
Shitting
over
all
you.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're fine.
Even before when you said, actually, that's not that impressive, that whole thing about women. I said, no, it is.
Shush, shush.
Your opinion does not matter.
Yeah, your opinion is not correct.
Yeah.
Adorable, nice try.
Well, this show is celebrating nine episodes now of Matt talking over Jess. So
That's beautiful.
Oh, boy.
What I think, the whole time, and Dawn Fraser was also, this is just a weird little fact that I've just remembered, she was like up in the officials booth, like where all like the royalty and everyone is, because she was sitting with, I don't remember his name because it's a very long, complicated name. He's like one of the head honchos in the, I should have written this down, but now I'm just telling you off the top of my head, of the Olympic Committee, and his wife couldn't be there because she was really sick. She ended up dying the next day.
Oh dear.
Yeah, she had
Really
cancer,
sick.
so she was really sick. So he invited Dawn to come and be his guest. So you can see her in like some of the footage, like explaining things to him. She's like chatting.
Is he from overseas?
Yeah. So he, so then she just excuses herself, goes and gets changed into her Olympic trackies.
He's like,
In a telephone booth or something.
yeah.
and he looks down. He's like, is that my date?
Yeah. Dawn,
What the
She said
hell?
she was getting a beer.
Oh God, I have to get my own beer now.
Yeah.
Hey, Dawn, what's happening now?
Yeah.
I'm just passing.
I'll just be one sec.
Yeah.
It's 100 years of women.
Okay, so what we're doing is
The Dawn Whisperer.
So and you can see like every time they pass it on, because it's just a spotlight on those people running along, and then they pass on to the next one and the whole crowd just goes nuts. So Debbie Flintoff King is running through, it's like Moses parting the Red Sea. She's running down this like fairly narrow path between all the Olympians, and she gets like halfway, and I think they announced it too early because he went Kathy Freeman, and she still had quite a way to run. And so she finally gets it, but the crowd's already like losing their mind. But it was still like maybe a minute or so before she got to it.
Really? And then Kathy Freeman's there.
Kathy Freeman's there.
And is she wearing in my mind, she's wearing that suit that she won the gold medal in.
It was a similar kind of suit.
Was she wearing
it didn't have the hood.
No hood,
but it was like a silver suit, because she had to run, she ran up the stairs and then she ran up a whole big flight of stairs past the orchestra.
Did she do it quickly?
Not bad. Good pace.
Record time.
I mean, it's stairs, and she's a 400-meter runner. You know, it's different. It's different, you know. And she gets to the top, and then she walks out into like this, like a pool of water, and then she lights the cauldron, and it rises up above her. Like, so she's in the middle of these flames as it goes up. It's so cool. I was also a very big Kathy Freeman fan.
So, and at what point does the malfunction occur?
It rises up I think it rises up quite a bit, and then it doesn't quite go all the way. Like, it sort of stops.
So do they just wait the 4 minutes before moving on to something?
Yeah,
and what's Kathy doing at this time?
She's just standing there.
Is she looking pretty cool and calm, or?
Yeah, I think so.
She's
Probably
just,
looking around a little bit like,
Facebook.
oh boy, like what's going on here? But she just plays it cool. I'm sure they're talking in a little earpiece like, okay, Kathy.
It genuinely would be someone whispering in her ear.
All right, Kathy. Just having a bit of a technical glitch here, but don't you worry. You look great.
And then they're just like sort of talking in the earpiece to the conductor of the orchestra. They're like, quick, make 4 minutes of music. They're like, our instruments aren't plugged in. What are you talking about?
Oh, no.
We're miming.
So that sort of brings us to the end of the ceremony.
So the cauldron's up now after 4 minutes, and then everyone sort of goes crazy, and that's how it ends?
Yeah. And then and then just a whole bunch of fireworks, and then away we go. I do have as you know, I always like to finish with a few fun facts.
Fun facts.
So that's how we're going to finish off. You know how there's always French and English, mesdames et messieurs.
Yeah.
So the two official languages.
Then,
of the
ladies and gentlemen.
Is and French for and?
What?
Is and French for and?
No, isn't it like? Oh, I don't know.
Oh no, I just thought.
I think I said and.
Yeah.
Mesdames et messieurs.
Yeah, like I would have believed that, but
Okay.
it wasn't important. I was just thought that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what. Anyway,
I don't know who
fun facts.
I don't know who the French woman is, but the English language announcer for the opening ceremony was Australian actor John Stanton. Now, when I was watching, I was like, where do I know his voice from? And then I looked him up. He also voices the 40 Winks ads.
Oh, 40 winks, 40 hour sale.
If you watch...
40 winks, 40 hours out.
He doesn't sing the jingles. If you go back and watch any clip now, you'll know the voice.
If I was going to pick any betting advertising person, it would definitely be...
Right, 40 Winks.
It would definitely be...
For me, it would have definitely been Rod Quantock.
Rod Quantock,
sure.
Captain Snooze, for me too.
Great point, but maybe he wasn't available. So, as I said before, Andrew Gaze brought the flag in for the opening ceremony. For the closing ceremony, it was, I don't think it's decided sort of through the games. It's not decided before. So that it was given to one of the team's youngest members and most celebrated, 17-year-old Ian Thorpe.
Yes! Got to be Thorpe.
He was one of the true stars of the game. He won 5 medals, 3 gold and 2 silver, 17 years old.
Pretty good, not as good as...
I didn't realise 17, that's nuts.
Old mate Shane Gould, but
Shane
pretty
Gould
good.
Killed it.
Yeah, I didn't know. Thorpe was only 17, wow.
Australia won 58 medals.
That's a record, isn't it? Is it the most gold ever, was the Sydney Olympics for us?
For us, I'm not sure,
I believe.
actually.
Yeah, it was I think for us at the time it was a record.
Like we were top 3 or
isn't
something.
That often the way in the host country? Like we often do well, just because of the...
It's home.
I think we came 4th on the medal
We
count,
did.
maybe.
So we got 16 gold, 25 silver, 17 bronze, finished 4th behind US, Russia and China.
And I think more, like last time, I think we were finished somewhere in the top 20. I think that was like, we've never finished that high.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was amazing. And we also just sort of strangely...
I'm saying we.
Yeah, but it is we.
Bloody good effort, Matt. When you're at that party at 16 and missing this opening ceremony,
Yeah, good job.
Knew you were training hard.
Yeah.
We had representatives in every sport as well, which was pretty rare. I don't know if we've done that since. And finally...
What do you reckon is the easiest sport to get into? If I trained every day...
It's just the sports that no one else does, right?
Shooting?
But we're really good at that. So
Yeah, but it doesn't require a lot of like physical training or skill, and like you couldn't take up.
I think there's a lot of
it takes up
skill.
skill, but I mean, like you don't. If you try to take up gymnastics now, you're fucked.
Yeah, couldn't do gymnastics.
Shooting's definitely easier than gymnastics to choose to do in your mid-20s.
Exactly,
Yes.
or taking up a whole sport.
Like if you're talking about you as a 25-year-old, shooting would have to be up there. Maybe horse riding
'cause
is an
people-
old
Pretty light.
person.
And I'm also scared of horses.
Okay, so not
That's
horse
tricky for
riding.
you. What about guns? How do you
Shooting.
feel about guns?
Oh, you couldn't
Never
do
shot a
archery.
gun, but I've never shot a horse. So
Couldn't do archery because I just don't trust your little arms to be able to pull back.
piss off. Those small Korean women do really, really well. I've seen them in the final.
What about badminton?
Yeah, no,
No, they're
still,
freaks at that.
quite
They're doing that
agile.
since
Yeah,
were
but
three.
who plays it? Like, this is the thing. Like,
Oh,
to
sorry,
reach
yeah.
the top of a sport that I don't know anyone else who plays it.
Yeah, but then is there any? Is
Yeah,
it
so
as
I could-
exciting to be a medalist in it?
No, I don't
I
think.
think
No,
so.
I don't think we're talking about medalists. Actually, that's fair enough because I'll never beat like a Chinese person that's played. I'll just pick that nation out of thin air. That's played badminton since they were 3.
Yeah.
But I could. I've got more chance to be the best in Australia
Yeah.
just to get to the Olympics
Yeah.
Yeah,
with
okay.
no hope.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to win a medal in anything because you have to be amazing.
You
yeah,
have to
that's
work
right. There's gonna
most
be-
of your life.
Yeah.
And
I
I
don't
reckon
want
there
to take
would-
it away from the Australian badminton team. Sorry, everyone. It's probably
No, I
really
do.
hard.
They've had
Ah,
it too
fuck 'em.
good for too long.
Get out of here,
Take him
you
down.
jerks. Final fun fact. How many people would you say watched the Australian Open, the opening ceremony?
Yeah, it's a little off topic, but just
But
curious.
hey,
What do
let's
you
have
think?
a crack. The opening around the world on television. Well, I'm thinking that
12,000.
I'm thinking that because it can't be the most watched one because most of the world it's the middle of the night at this time. So, like, say the Atlanta games, you can get all of America can watch it. All the Beijing games, it's like all of China is watching it.
In
So-
Australia, it would have been
Most
like,
households.
yeah, probably
Not
like 3 or
Matt's
4
household.
millions.
I reckon it
3 or 4 millions.
it could be like
That's not
6 or
right.
7 million in Australia.
Wowee.
It's massive, man. It was
But
huge.
that would be higher than anything ever, right? The block isn't even that high.
Yeah, this is.
But this isn't the block.
The block
This is
elimination
the-
special doesn't even get those kind of numbers.
Sorry, Matt.
This is
Sorry.
the opening ceremony. This is huge. We had the whole family sat around. We had little Australian flags. We were like
That's
really
so
into it.
cute.
Mum put because I was 10, so Mum put like little flags on toothpicks and put them in our sausage rolls. We had like Australian themed food.
Oh, I would have loved a sausage roll, but I was vomiting all bloody night.
Oh.
Okay, I'm going to say
This is around the world.
around the world 150 million.
3.6 billion.
Are you kidding?
No,
Wait,
That's
is that
50%.
everybody?
No, that's 50% of the whole world.
3.6 billion viewers.
Well, that's not real.
Is that the
That-
most watched one? No, surely Beijing's more.
Possibly, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I get. So you're telling me that 3.6 billion people tuned in to watch us make the Olympic rings with lawnmowers?
You're welcome, world.
Best ever.
Right, like
Best ever.
it feels like the kind of thing that, like, eventually people are going to go, wait, hang on. I've been excited about one of these
Yeah.
before. Never again.
Never.
I
never.
don't because it is kind of wanky, but I still love to watch it.
Yeah, that is. Well,
That is the Sydney 2000
The best
Olympic opening
ever.
ceremony.
Best ever.
opening ceremony, and probably the best ever podcast dedicated to it.
I reckon it could be up there.
Could be up there.
Top 5.
Was that too specific?
No, I like it.
No,
I enjoy
don't
it.
think so. I think too specific would have been
The first 5
Nikki,
minutes.
What was her name?
Nikki Webster.
Nikki Webster's sundress.
Yeah, okay, that's too specific.
No, I enjoyed that a lot. Thank you, Jess.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me on this podcast.
On my
that
show.
I'm always on, yes.
You're always fun. Well, if you want to get in contact with Jess, we want to heckle her, or perhaps you are that man that was with Dawn Fraser that night.
sorry.
You want to email your new name, you can contact us online at dogoonpod, or one word, at gmail.com. If you want to suggest a topic, or we're on Twitter now at dogoonpod.
Yeah,
Ah,
do
makes
Goon
sense.
Pod.
Dogoonpod. If you had a good time, rate us on iTunes if that's your thing. Tell someone about it. That would be the best ever. We're going to be back next week. I'm going to be doing a report. Oh my God, I've got to think of something now. The life and times of Dawn Fraser. Dawn Fraser. But until next time, we shall see you then. Thank you for joining us.
Lighters.
Bye.